Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the graduation ceremony for the Criminal Investigation Division Special Agent Advanced Leaders Course, Class 23-001. As these non-commissioned officers prepare to return to their units, they are reminded of the responsibility of all soldiers to adhere to the basic principles of the American fighting soldier and their duty to instill in those that they lead the reasons for our existence. Please give your attention to a short film presentation highlighting training events experienced by the graduates. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the invocation given by Sergeant First Class Robert Lewis and the playing of our national anthem.
Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day and for this occasion as we celebrate these NCOs who are graduating. Lord, I first pray you will be present with us in this ceremony. I thank you for the friends and family of these graduates. Thank you for their love and support which enabled these NCOs to successfully complete their studies. I pray that you bless each of them today as they graduate, reminding them of what they have overcome and accomplished to be here. Father, again I ask you to bless us with your presence this morning as we seek to honor you in all we do. In your name, amen. Good afternoon. Retired Command Sergeant Major James Breckenridge, Command Sergeant Major Jonathan Hill, other distinguished guests, family members, and friends of the graduates. On behalf of Colonel Jason C. Small, the Commandant of the 2nd Brigade Military Police 102nd Training Division, we welcome you to Fort Lindenwood and today's graduation ceremony. Families and friends, please feel free to come forward at any time during the ceremony to take pictures. Today's ceremony recognizes not only the achievements of and graduation of these non-commissioned officers, but it also honors those who have gone before us. We are proud of those graduates and the training they have completed. This course and these graduates would not be successful without the professionalism, dedication, and selfless service of their small group leaders, whom mentored and led by example to complete 254 hours of instruction over the past 4 weeks. It is only appropriate that we recognize the non-commissioned officers who contributed significantly to guide these sergeants through these challenging courses. Ladies and gentlemen, the cadre of the CID Advanced Leaders course. The senior small group leader, Sergeant First Class Pedro Delgado. The small group leaders are Sergeant First Class Robert Lewis and Sergeant First Class Joseph Philbin. The course manager is Master Sergeant Anthony Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for these outstanding non-commissioned officers. At this time, Master Sergeant Johnson, course manager of the CID Advanced Leaders course, will introduce the guest speaker, Command Sergeant Major Jonathan Hill of the 104th MP Battalion, 2nd Brigade, 102nd Training Division, as well as recognize Command Sergeant Major retired James Breckenridge joining us today in the audience.
Good afternoon, everybody. Graduating class, instructors, Command Sergeant Major Breckenridge, Command Sergeant Major Hill, our WOAC class, and our honored guests. Thank you for attending today. I'd like to introduce you to Command Sergeant Major Hill, who's our guest speaker.
Thank you for that introduction. Command Sergeant Breckenridge, thank you so much for coming. It's great to see you. Our WOAC class guests, we appreciate you guys coming out as those who will supervise and lead these that come out of here. It's great that you can show your support and be here. Other guests and family members, we appreciate you so much as you support these agents as they complete this next step in their professional journey and as they go on. So thank you so much for coming out. Class 2301, congratulations on your completion of ALC. As a fellow reservist, I know what it is like to dedicate so much time to a part-time job that often requests a whole lot more of us than what we expect. The citizen soldier has always borne the burden of being absent from their civilian careers, losing those days off and family time in order to continue service to this nation. So let me start by thanking you, not only for your service, but also for your commitment to excellence and your desire to not just be present, but to grow and to become more. And if I could be a little cliche to say to be all that you can be. You know, some of us have been around a while, remember that saying with fondness. It was inspiring to us, it's what brought us in. And, you know, hey, we just throw it out there right as the elephant in the room. Army of One was just dumb. It really was. And Army Strong was good. It brought solidarity in a time that we needed it. And so it was something that was good during that time of conflict. But Be All You Can Be, to me, embodies the spirit of excellence and continual growth. It kind of drives us and gives us that impression that we can become more and make the Army what it is. And that is the greatest fighting force in the world. And so I know I share this. Obviously, the Bulls showed it that Be All You Can Be was unwaveringly supported in coming back as the motto, the recruiting motto for the Army. So it's that I'm going to talk about a little bit. Just give a few moments about personal growth and evolution. Is the word that I like to use. So I've been contemplating that word recently, and it's almost in a contrast to the word development. And I don't dislike the word development, but we have it in so much of our doctrine and the things that we talk about, especially in the school system. And sometimes I feel like development is about set goals and achieving an end state to those goals. And that's great. That is certainly a part of personal growth and necessary as we go through. But when I think about the word evolution, I think about the process simple definition of it. But what I like about that statement is the inherent challenge that's in it, and that challenge is consistent change. It's not natural for us as human beings to want change. Almost every one of us is adverse to some form of change in some way, shape, or form. Even the ones who are highly adaptable. There's some things that we just don't like to change. I think our tendency is to become proficient at something and kind of rest on that. You know, people recognize us for it. Doesn't matter what it is. Maybe it's your administrative skill. Maybe it's your skill as a trainer on the range. Whatever that may be, we have a tendency to grab onto those things we're good at because we get congratulated for it, we get recognized for it, and it comes easy to us once we've put in the time because that's what we spend our time on, we become proficient at. And when we do that, we kind of tend to weigh anchor. And the problem I see with anchors is what do? They keep us still. They keep us from moving. Emerson was credited with the statement, unless you try to do something beyond what you've already mastered, you will never grow. So 2 quick challenges in the quest for self-evolution. Practice honest self-awareness. So face your weaknesses, don't avoid them. We all know, we've all been around long enough, and even in the Army system, it constantly challenges us to grow in the areas that we're weak, to become better leaders. And as we go through those things, it's easy to avoid them. In your position, don't delegate the things that you're not good at. Take the opportunity as you work with those who might have a different strength than you to increase your own knowledge, to make your weaknesses stronger and overcome those things. Tackle the undesirable or the intimidating with gusto. So I spent 5 years as the personal security officer for Dr. Mark Esper. And one of the most impressive things about the man, who was crazy smart and amazing in his grasp of government and the things that were going on in the world and the challenges that we face in the future, as a follow-on to Secretary Mattis, really ushered us into preparation for the threat that we face in the future. But one of the most impressive things to me was Dr. Esper is a severe introvert. He's a very introverted person. He's very reflective internally. He likes to watch what's going on in the room, and interacting with people is exhausting to him. However, that man could walk into any room and own it. It was amazing. It was amazing to watch him in his quiet reflectiveness turn a switch on and walk into a room and be interactive with people and to challenge people and to get up and public speak. It was really impressive to see it. It challenged me in the things that are not my strong suits, the things that don't come naturally to me, to tackle those things and to go after them. So that's one. The second one is develop a love of learning. We talk about the lifelong learner. What I find in learning is follow the trends. As you get older, sometimes it becomes difficult to get on board with new things that come out. But what I recognize about what's new is what's new usually becomes popular, and it usually becomes important in society. Think about the things that just in your lifetime we faced. 20 years ago, you were lucky if you had a cell phone at all. Now, nobody doesn't have a cell phone. Even most of us in law enforcement, even when we deal with homeless people, somehow have cell phones. I mean, it's just a thing, right? It was something that was a trend that's grown to be of pivotal importance to society. So follow those trends, learn about them. When things are new and come out, take the time to discover what those are about. Respect the new generation. We struggle with that all the time. Sometimes some of the things the young people are thinking and dealing with, we don't want to deal with. And we don't want to think about it that way because it's different than the way that we were brought up or the way that our culture was. We even see that in the Army, and the trends, and as we see young soldiers come out, they think about things a different way than we do. But they also have strengths, and there are lots of things that we can learn from in them. Prime example, and Caesar Breckenridge mentioned it to me while we were sitting there, is, we had a technical problem, and this young man over here jumped up and fixed the technical problem, right? Completely over my head. So those are things that's one of the things that for me I have to dig into. I have to spend the time learning about technical stuff. What's the biggest threat in the world we face today? Cyber. It's everywhere. It is imbued itself in our law enforcement careers. If you go look and search for, especially on USA Jobs, you look at any federal agency, almost every job position has something to do with cyber. I mean, the law enforcement world is shifting that way. It's so important to learn those new things that are different than what we did. And maybe you like where you are professionally, and that's okay. If you're happy with what you do professionally, and that's where you want to stay, that's great. Then choose to grow personally. Pick something that just increases you and increases the value that you have. Maybe it's in a contribution to just your local community, and maybe not to your profession. And as I look about at the advantage of growing is don't stay somewhere because you have to. If you like where you're at and you love what you're doing, that is awesome. It's great to be in a job that you love. And I know in our world, in CID, sometimes that becomes a thing because you want to get in there and work cases. And you don't want to move up and do the desk job or the administrative job. You want to work cases, that's great. If you love what you do, then do it. But don't stay somewhere because you don't have any options. And that comes from growing and increasing yourself in those areas so that if you choose to move on, that you're competitive and you have the ability to do so. And so that's my couple notes. Congratulations on your accomplishment. Thank you so much for your service, and I'm so proud of seeing a group like you come in and continue the leadership roles that are happening in CID on the reserve side. Thank you. Cool.
Thank you, Sergeant Major Hill. As we prepare to recognize these non-commissioned officers, rest assured that the traditions and high standards of the non-commissioned officer corps and the regiment will continue. These leaders have met or exceeded the demanding standards of this course. They will return to their units prepared to perform their duty, leading soldiers in today's Army. Upon completion of the CID Advanced Leaders course, each student receives a diploma and an academic evaluation report. These documents attest to the fact that these sergeants have met the rigorous challenges of the course and are prepared to seek added responsibility. In each class, there are non-commissioned officers who excel during the course of instruction and deserve recognition for their individual achievements. These non-commissioned officers will be the first to receive their certificates of graduation. The Distinguished Honor Graduate is the student who best demonstrates the total soldier concept. This concept includes achieving the highest overall academic average, displaying knowledge of general military subjects, completing all performance-oriented evaluations on the first attempt, and exhibiting outstanding leadership ability. The CID Advanced Leaders Course Distinguished Honor Graduate recipient is Sergeant Kylie Chavez, 315th Military Police Detachment, CID. The Distinguished Honor Graduate will receive an NCOA Certificate of Achievement from Command Sergeant Major Hill. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause for the Distinguished Honor Graduate. The next graduate to be recognized is the Leadership Awardee. The Leadership Award is presented to the individual who has been selected by their peers and approved by the cadre based on their overall appearance, leadership ability, and military knowledge. The CID Advanced Leaders Course Leadership Award recipient is Staff Sergeant Robert Strigley, 322nd MP Detachment, CID. The Leadership Awardee will receive an NCOA Certificate of Achievement from Command Sergeant Major Hill for his outstanding performance throughout the course. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause graduates to be recognized are those who have distinguished themselves by graduating in the top 20% of their class and have been placed on the Commandant's list. The non-commissioned officers have exceeded course standards by passing all performance evaluations on the first attempt and maintaining an academic grade point average of 90 or better. The CID Advanced Leaders Course Commandant's list are Sergeant Ryan Joe, 380th MP Detachment. Sergeant Michael Kowaleski, 375th MP Detachment, CID. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for the Commandant's List recipients. Command Sergeant Major Hill, our guest speaker, will now present the remainder of the graduates with their graduation certificates. Please hold your applause and other verbal gestures of congratulations until the last graduate is recognized.
ALC class, prepare to graduate.
The CID Advanced Leaders Course graduates are Sergeant Patrick M. Ahern, Sergeant Kenneth A. Bates, Sergeant Richard R. Castellon, Sergeant Abner, Sergeant Joseph Z. Hunter, Sergeant Christopher M. Louis, Sergeant Matthew J. Rathbun, Sergeant Joseph C. Rowlands, Sergeant Christopher B. Wells, and Sergeant Joshua K. White. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for the graduating classes. At this time, the distinguished undergraduate from the CID Advanced Leader Course will present the guest speaker with a token of gratitude from the class. At this time, we request that all non-commissioned officers, past and present, stand and join us in the recitation of the creed of the non-commissioned officer.
Creed of the non-commissioned officer.
Creed of the non-commissioned officer. No one is more professional than I. I am a non-commissioned officer, a leader of soldiers. As a non-commissioned officer, I realize that I am a member of a time-honored corps, which is known as the backbone of the Army. I am proud of the Corps of non-commissioned officers, and will at all times conduct myself with strict credit on the Corps, the military service, and my my unit will have maximum time to accomplish their duties. They will not have to accomplish mine. I will earn their respect and confidence as well as that of my soldiers. I will be loyal to those with whom I serve, seniors, peers, and subordinates alike. I will exercise initiative by taking appropriate action in the absence of orders. I will not compromise my integrity nor my moral courage. I will not forget, nor will I allow Congress to forget, that we are professionals, non-commissioned officers, leaders.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the Army song, or remain standing for the Army song, the Military Police Regimental March, the benediction, and the departure of the official party.
March along, sing our song with the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might. And the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won. And the army goes rolling along. Then it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the cadence loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along. We are the regiment that of the troops was born. We are the regiment that for the troops was formed. Military police corps in peace and war is there to assist, protect, defend our own, no matter when or where.
Please join me in the benediction. Our God in heaven, I thank you for your presence with us during this graduation ceremony. Thank you for each graduate, and I ask that you will be with them, not only to bless them, but give them strength, courage, and wisdom for the assignments they are now going to enter. Keep each of them safe, both in and out of harm's way, and remind them and us, as we wear this uniform, that we defend and represent the freedom that has been won for us by past generations of men and women in uniform. Go with us now and keep us ever aware of your presence and your love for us. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Commandant, we would like to thank you for your attendance. This concludes the graduation ceremony. Please feel free to move forward and congratulate the graduates.
Class, dismissed.